that this is not the first time that Mampintsha has assaulted Wodumo. Many might be wondering why she hasn't left him. Well, it's not always that simple. And joining me via Skype Live now is an abuse survivor, Vanessa Tedder, who joins us via Skype. Vanessa, good morning to you. Just as that intro I was reading moments ago says, it's not always easy to leave, as many people would say. This is not the first time that Babes Wodumo has faced this from her boyfriend, Mampintsha. Why hasn't she left? What are the realities?
Good morning, Polly. I start just to put you in perspective. I started off my morning feeling quite happy, and had the misfortune to see that video. And for any survivor, it's a big trigger because we've been there. The question you ask is a commonly asked one. And sometimes for us as survivors, we feel, it's quite easy to stand on the outside or the sidelines and say, why do you go back? Why do you stay? Get out, leave. These are very easy things to say. But until you are in the midst of an abusive relationship, you cannot even begin to fathom the depths and the magnitude of what a victim goes through. And in large part, we stay. We stay because not only are we afraid of leaving our abuser, because they do instill fear in you. They will tell you things like, don't even think about leaving. If you leave or if you start a relationship with somebody else, and this is what my abuser used to say to me, that person will regret ever setting eyes on you. But more than that, you've got to look at the deep-rooted psychological and emotional impact that they have on you. They rob you of your self-esteem. They rob you of your dignity. They rob you of your confidence. Without that, you are nothing. The perpetrator, your abuser, then becomes your greatest security. They're the ones to make you feel beautiful. They're the ones to make you feel loved. And in an instant, they can reduce you to absolutely nothing. And in the next instant, they could elevate you to such great heights. So it is such a complex thing of why we stay, and some of us stay and we die in the relationship. Some of us stay for years before we finally find the courage within us. And whether it's courage or whether we're just tired or exhausted of what's happening, and then we leave. And then there are some of us, you never know what's happening to us. But that is why we stay. We stay because we are too afraid. We stay because we think we cannot do any better.
Tell me this, Vanessa. Details, or should I say the alleged abuse of Babes Wodumo by Mampintsha, they first surfaced in May last year. This time around, she has decided to actually film the abuse and take it on social media. In your view, what has driven her to do this?
We may ask ourselves as well, why can't she just get out? Why can't she just ask for help? Why go so public? And here's the thing. Here's the thing we need to appreciate. This is a woman that's very desperate. She's crying out for help. And this video, this live streaming video that she put out, showing herself at her most vulnerable, being beaten by a man who claims to love her and whom she probably thinks she loves. Putting this out for the world to see is probably the most powerful cry for help she will ever issue without even having to say a word. So if you ask, why has she done this? Here's the thing. This is her asking for help. This is her saying, this is what's happening to me. And, I watched this video, and as sick as I felt to my stomach, I wish I had had that courage. This is more than close on to 20 years ago. I walked out of my relationship in mid-2005. So do the calculations. I wish I had had the courage to do what she did, to put myself out there and say, this is what he's doing to me. But I was embarrassed and I was afraid. And let me tell you something. Anybody who thinks that this woman is weak is false. She has issued the most powerful cry for help. We have seen what he has done to her. We know what he's done to her. We've heard stories in the past. And some of us believed it. Some of us, responded very negatively to those around her who tried to help. Here it is. Yeah. Here it is for the world to see, for the country to see. This is what's happening to her. And it's not just happening to her, it is happening to thousands of our sisters and our mothers and our friends every single day in this country.
Let's talk, so, Vanessa.
I think...
So sorry to interrupt you there. No, just as a final question to you, talk to me about the perpetrator, because for the longest time we've been talking about the victim here, who is Babes Wodumo. Let's talk about Mampintsha, Mandla Maphumulo. Let's talk about the false sense of power that he thinks he has over her. What is he probably feeling today after this video, after such a publicized episode of her abusing her like that?
So here's the common thing about narcissists, and this is applicable to every perpetrator of abuse, right? Firstly, you'll never believe that they're even capable of it, you know, and especially with men that are in the public eye. You'll never believe that of them because of what they portray. What he's feeling right now, I can tell you, is probably not remorse. If anything, he's feeling awfully sorry for himself because he's been outed in such a fantastic fashion, really. You know, there's no disputing what you've seen there. There's remorse now. He's been caught out. How is he going to resurrect his career after this? You know, he'll feel sorry for himself because here's the thing. They're always the victims. They're always the wronged ones, you know, because you push them to that. You drive them to beat you up. You drive them to do those terrible things to you. They are never responsible. Okay, so if this man had an iota of integrity about him, if he was a real man to start off with, he would already have come out, stood out and said, yes, I have done this. I have been doing this. I have a problem and I need help. But let me tell you this, as the case with 99% of abusive people in this world, they don't have the problem. The problem's always with the victim. So where he is now and what he is feeling, I hope he is absolutely ashamed of himself. Because this is a man many have put on a pedestal, many revere, many idolize. He is not worth that. No real man behaves in that despicable fashion.
Vanessa Tedder, thank you very much for having given us your time. Vanessa Tedder talking to us there about this video that's emerged of Babes Wodumo being abused by her boyfriend Mampintsha. Well, the question is he capable of change after such a public exposure of the abuse?